my food.
It's Tuesday night. It's the international break. What is there to talk about? I don't know, but we've got a show for you tonight. Yes, I played the outro, but this is actually the intro. And I'm joined tonight by OMONDI and Kehinde. So let's start with our guest, Kehinde. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering what the show's to be about. But I'm all ears, and I'm happy to share a lot of feedback.
Nice. Well, the show tonight is we're going to go through the squad on Monday, and we're going to say who we should keep and who we should consider moving on. So hopefully there'll be a lot of arguments, a lot of fighting. Who knows? I might take my clothes off again.
So let's repeat this again. So we're going to go for the whole squad, and we're deciding choosing each player, and who deciding whether they should stick or twist.
Yes.
So stick with them or twist and get someone else in.
Whole squad.
Yes. All right.
Can
I just say, look at the Premier League and look at the other teams as well. And there's been, we look at Spurs, Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal as well, Man City. There are a lot of good teams, a lot of good players, and Brighton as well. They look good. A lot of good teams, a lot of good players in each position. So I will be measuring up if you're doing that against these players, and whether I see better players in those positions in these are rival clubs as well. So that's where I'll be looking at it. So if I am going to twist on somebody, I'm going to say I'll give it a comparison and say, well, Arsenal have got this guy, and I think he's a better standard, and now that's why I twist, because we need to get to that standard, and we need players of this sort of caliber. That sort of thing. That's the way I'll go about this.
Yeah, it's International Week content. So we've got to say our hellos. And first up, we got Eddie's Football Waffle. Big up the Man United and all in the chat. Everyone hit that delicious like. And we got this guy, Solo, saying, keep Fred and David De Gea. Cheers, Solo. Stephanie Griffiths, big up Eddie, Solo number 7, and all the Man United agenda with the thumbs up. And then look, it's me saying follow us on social media, because we're very active on social media. And then we got Matthew Bassett saying good evening all. And he's saying big up everyone on the show and the chat. Got Rajat saying hello to a Monday panel and all. Bit of favouritism there from Rajat. And then we got one of my favourites. He's Harry's brother. It's Niall Kane. And then here's Big G. Bath time, thumbs up. A Monday, thumbs up. Uncle Phil, thumbs up. This is exactly what you want at 9 o'clock on a Tuesday night.
Can we just say, leave Uncle Phil alone? Otherwise, he'll be booting you out of the room like he used to boot Jazzy's. Yeah. He's had a long day. He's worked 8 hours like the rest of us, but he's tired. He's eating a lot of food as well. So don't piss off Mr. Grumpy Uncle Phil down there.
Did you ever see the reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Armando?
There was a new series, wasn't there? When it was a bit more serious, wasn't it? A bit more.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. I haven't seen it, but what's your thoughts on it?
Well, I haven't seen it either, but from the trailer, it looked like the guy that he got in a fight with in Philadelphia on the basketball court, came to attack him in his new school. And it wasn't fun or like a comedy. It was like a sort of, it was about all the things that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wasn't about. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air was fun. Yeah, and speaking of fun, Rajat is saying that McTominay and Maguire, definitely let them go. And here's Bart. Hello! Hope that you're doing well. As Ten Hag beat Brentford for the first time in Premier League history. And then Matthew Bassett is jumping the gun with all the people that he wants out. We've got Black Bolt saying evening everyone. And Vincent is saying David Hare is at the women's game. What does this mean? I'm not sure. He's very good friends with Mary Earps, I think, our goalkeeper. And then Bart is complaining about selling players. And Rajat is agreeing with Bart. So that's a great start. Right. Let's talk about our defence. But Kehinde, before we get into the defence, One of the sort of like issues that has been pointed out by our ex-coach Rennie Muir. How do you say his name, Monday?
Rennie Mullinson. Well, how do you say it, Kinde?
I don't know how to say it.
Do you remember the guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Coach, yeah. I really like him.
He's really good. Really good.
Mullinson.
Yeah. Renee.
Yeah.
Well, Renee has come out today and said that Ten Hag's system is based on relentless intensity, and that a lot of players in the Manchester United team do not have that. And so, with that as a sort of caveat, I want you to sort of tell me in the defence. We'll start off with Onana, I suppose, but tell me which of the defenders you think can play in a Ten Hag system.
That can. Dallo, I would have said, because I know you mentioned yesterday that he was blowing that the last game.
Yeah.
Not as fit as you thought he was, but when I think about him, he's a guy that goes up and down.
Right, sure.
Martinez, because he's got intensity about his game. He plays with intensity and heart. But yeah, maybe Luke Shaw. That's it, really. The rest of them are, like you can't say Varane because he's not fit enough. Can't play 2 games a week. Can't really say Maguire at this moment. He's too slow. That's what people are saying about him. And Lindelof's not strong enough. So yeah, just those. Oh, Wan-Bissaka, of course. Yeah. So the 2 right backs, Luke Shaw and Martinez, the guy that he bought.
Okay, and the goalkeeper?
I would have to say the goalkeeper, yeah, because that's a Ten Hag signing. He obviously thinks so. He's worked for him before. So I would have to say, yeah.
Okay, Amonde. We all know where this is heading.
Yeah, you talk about intensity. I think that's a mental thing as well. When you talk about the system, about Ten Hag's system requires intensity, I'm not so sure, because when you see, especially talk about in defence, they're playing the ball nice and comfortable. They get a lot of time and space on the ball. Look at Onana. Does he look like he's got a lot of intensity match play? He's the calmest man out there. He's cool and calm. I don't feel intensity with his game. I think when they're defending, that's when you have to switch on and show that intensity. So I'm basing it on that. I think Lindelof, a bit lackluster, hasn't got intensity to win his duels. He's lost out a few duels lately. I think he's a bit targeted now to someone he can get at physically and rough up a little bit. So I think his intensity levels are not at Ten Hag's intensity levels to be a top defender in defensive situations. I like Malacia. He looks like a guy, like he's always walking around his teeth like that, and smiling. And you don't know whether he's smiling or growling or snarling or someone. But he's got that intensity. He gets over to a guy really well. He wants to mark. He slide tackles. I like his intensity. I think he's got it. I think Dalot as well is a proper professional. He can play all day, run all day, apart from against Brentford last Saturdays, he said. And was blowing out his backside, apparently, according to Mark Man. But I think he's got the intensity as well. He's very professional. You can see that in the dressing room. I can imagine him being a guy like, yeah, I'm on this, And I'm going to say Maguire as well. Definitely got that intensity. He's the one who came up with a header, boom, put his head in there. I reckon he put his head in where it hurts. I think he wants to win. I think no matter what people say about him, he's got that intensity to get through and take all the abuse and come back and play time and time again. He wants to win as well. He's got that desire, proving it. Then you've got Johnny Evans. I'm not sure about that. I think he's getting on a bit with age. The goalkeeper, as I said, is lackluster. Not lackluster, but he's got that coolness about him. Doesn't mean he's not intense. He's just very cool. So I don't think it applies to many of the defenders. I'm calling out Lindelof. He's the one I would say maybe needs to drive up. And maybe Varane as well, because Varane doesn't seem to be like the leader that we used to have in Steve Bruce and Vidic, that sort of guy. He just gets on with his job, does it really well. But is he intense? Does he show that passion, that drive, that intensity? I'm not so sure about him. But that's my thoughts on the defence. Bart's fan, over to you. What do you reckon?
Well, I'm going to do the comments first, and we'll skip through Bart's because, I mean, he's a Liverpool fan, but He's taken the time to type this out. He would suggest Evans, Maguire, Wan-Bissaka, and Varane. Sorry. And shout out to Vincent. It's his birthday, and he's not feeling very well. So give him a wave to cheer him up.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Vincent. Big up, Vincent. Happy birthday. I hope you have a lovely day.
Well, he's clearly not. But Rajat is saying keep Bayinda. And Black Bolt is wondering about Malacia.
We just don't know. Mystery, isn't it?
Yeah, and Delo is clear of Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but both are good. I mean, all right. So for me personally, I'm all right with the keeper at the moment. I know he's making howlers and stuff like that, but it's too early into his career to write him off. Although it is rather disappointing to see Giroud making more saves for AC Milan than our goalkeeper. Do you see that? He had to go in goal.
I see the picture. That's why I got it. I saw a picture of him with the goalkeeper's uniform on.
Yeah, he did really well. Shaw, I'm beginning to have doubts about Shaw. It's not just his fitness record; it's that he can't really play inside. And I think his abilities as a centre-back are wildly overrated. I saw Harry Kane treat him like a first division defender last year. Maguire, I think that something's got to give with Maguire. If he doesn't get a run of games, he's got to go. Managers doesn't seem to like him. I think we're all quite confused why he isn't playing and Lindelof is, when he's clearly a better defender than Lindelof and has more attributes. Lindelof, I am done with. Absolutely, I thought he was a really good backup squad player, but he's just been at the heart of so many disasters this season in defence. Wan-Bissaka I'd get rid of. I think that when you look at what Delo is giving you this season, the up and down, the attacking, and extremely good back post defending, I don't think Wan-Bissaka can match any of those things. Although Wan-Bissaka is a good defender in wide areas, though. And Varane, I think we need to look away from Varane. He's a great defender, wonderful player. Everyone loves him, Rolls Royce, but he's always knackered. He's constantly injured. It's like having a mate who's a really good laugh when you go out, but you ring him up and he's like, "Oh, I'm not going to come out tonight. Brookside's on or something." Oh, is that what Kahinde's like?
Well, he's like that tonight. He's had too much to eat, and now he's going to fall asleep on us on the show.
It's like when an anaconda eats a big goat.
Well, anyway, how you like the Hare and Hounds every Saturday?
But all right. So with those players, I think we all agree on Lindelof going. What sort of centre backs? Not the name, but what do we need our centre backs to be doing now, Amondo?
Well, like you said, I mean, you talk about intensity. You want to defend where it's time to defend, and when we look at the goals that we conceded, I think a lot of times centre backs have been a bit abused. Martinez, for example, he's gone missing. He's had an injury, granted, but still the form wasn't there. He's been a bit out of sorts. I remember Salah spinning him around and making him face that way. He's like, face the wall, when you're in trouble. Face the wall, turn away and face the wall, put your head down. But I know that's just a meme, but that was the start of the downfall, I thought, for Martinez. He hasn't really been at his best. And he has to have that intensity because he's got that short man syndrome. So he has to prove to these big centre forwards that he can match them. So he's always in a battle, mainly with himself, to be honest. So I think when you're looking around what we need, I do think we need to sort of, in time, change the centre-back partnership. Martinez, I think he should stay. But I think you need someone to come in there who's composed, quick, fast, composed, on the ball as well, and got that intensity. So I'm looking out there. There's a young man at Arsenal I was very impressed with the other day who done a good job marking Haaland. Apparently, he didn't get dribbled past at all this season, and he's got some amazing stats, which make him look like the Virgil van Dijk from a few seasons ago. Someone who one-on-one situations is cool and calm, can sprint with these guys and calmly just shepherd them away from the goal and pinch the ball and just do things without any hassle. And when you're doing things like that as a defender, that's when you know you're a good defender. Like
This is Saliba.
Yeah, I don't want to say his name, but you know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
I must admit, I played centre back a lot as well. I like what he does, and he is a very, very good player. And he's a great. You have to give credit where it's due. That's the sort of player. That's the level where I'm saying, yeah, he's good. Then you look at players like at Man City. They brought in. They've just like they're playing a back four centre backs these days. They've got Stones, Akanji. They've got Nathan Ake, who's versatile. They've got Diaz. They've got the new Croatian guy as well. They're all big, solid, good ball playing, and Laporte as well. All these big, solid.
He's moved.
Has he moved? I thought
He's in Saudi.
Oh, did he go? Okay,
Yeah.
well, scrap that. Forgive me for that. But all the guys that I've named there, they're all good, strong, one-on-one, good in one-on-one situations, good, intense, prime kind of defenders. You have to give him credit. Stones as well. I mean, he's been magnificent. He plays in midfield sometimes, but put him in centre back for England or for even Man City, he's a dynamo there. So those are the sort of calibers of players that we should be having. And even Akanji, I mean, why couldn't we? He's been bought from Dortmund, and he's been fantastic last season. You know, playing out wide, at fullback position, centre back position, one-on-one situations. You know, and this is what we want to see: someone who's not going to make those mistakes, someone you can rely on when there's a fast break, which we've been suffering with lately. When people have been fast breaking on us, like LA Lakers from the 80s. Fast break, bam, 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 and we're all over the place. Kerfuffles waiting to happen. I want to see us deal with those fast breaks with defenders like, don't worry, I got this. Snap, pinch, and just play out again. That's what you want to see. And I think the players I mentioned from Man City, that one little centre back from Arsenal as well, that's the caliber. And I don't think we've got that at the moment.
Yeah, I really agree with that because I'm not as big a fan of Maguire as you are, and like I rate him, but I'm not in the I'm not on that mountain with you. But my one of the issues I have is you sort of look forward at how football's changing, and what Pep did halfway through last season is you're right. He basically played 4 centre backs. He put one of them in midfield in John Stones, and then he had one centre back Diaz who was exceptional at defending his box and the central areas, and then Ake and Akanji are fantastic defending out wide and winning battles.
Good shot.
And I look at our team, I don't see Martinez being able to do that either in the centre or in the wide areas. I think Maguire can do it in the centre, but definitely not wide areas.
Yeah.
Varane obviously can do it, but his injuries are a problem. I do wonder, actually, if Wan-Bissaka might be able to do that as a sort of right-sided centre-back, but he's very questionable defending aerials. Lindelof, not a bloody chance. Delo, I think so. Kahinde, do you have any thoughts on that, or are you just having a nice nap?
No, I'm taking it all in. I agree. I think one area I think we should have strengthened in some was the centre-back area, because when I'm thinking about it, Martinez is good. I think he needs a strong partner next to him that's going to be there consistently. Because when you're talking about centre backs, it's always having a good pairing that will complement the other one. You know, we've always had it with Man United, with Pallister, Bruce, and Rio and Vidic. You know, but Vidic individually, if he was playing with someone else, he might look really bad. But with Rio, it helped him. So I just think we need to get someone that's really dominant in the air, composed, strong, quick, with Martinez, and I think it'll make him look a lot better. I love Varane; he's my favourite defender, but the issue with him is that he can't stay fit, and I don't know how Lindelof is ahead of Maguire. I've never liked Lindelof. He's good at playing, but in terms of like defending first and intensity, you can't trust him. Big games, he's let us down. FA Cup final. I remember the Europa League final against Villarreal. It's not winning his head is not being dominant enough.
Do you think Martinez
might disagree with me, but I think we should have kept Eric Bailly instead of Lindelof, because the thing about Eric Bailly is he's rash and everything, but he defends first, and he's got pace, and this is what I'm saying, and he's decent with the ball at his feet. So I just think he should have been. I'm not saying first team, but just speaking order ahead of Lindelof. I would have sort of been Lindelof.
But do you think Martinez can defend wide areas?
I'm not sure because he's supposed to be this versatile player that has played left back and CDM as well. So you would think out of everyone, he would be the most competent in different areas. But I just don't know. I haven't really seen it.
For me, Martinez has been exposed mainly in wide areas. If you think to Dan James at Fulham, Salah at Anfield, and there was some Everton player who might be Dan Juma, like your big brother, who absolutely did him. But anyway, we've got to read some comments, haven't we, Monday?
For sure.
I really like this one from Black Bolt. You can't keep Maguire and get rid of Varane. The man's a World Cup and Champions League winner. The point, I think, for all of us is injuries, isn't it? It's nothing to do with his talent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's injuries.
You want consistency, don't you?
Yeah.
As Hinde was saying, you want partnerships. Someone's going to be regularly playing in a partnership there. So, yeah.
Big G saying it's because he's French. So, cheers. And then Vincent is saying, did anyone see the picture of Bruno Fernandes shopping at Tesco? He bought popcorn, a case of Red Bull, a case of Coca-Cola, and 2 packets of Andrex toilet roll. So he doesn't use the shop brands. Thanks, Vincent. And then Suze82 is back, and that's still one of my favourite profile pictures. It looks like Neil Buchanan on Art Attack or something. And then here is a bit of a bête noire of mine. Bart is saying one thing that United must do is invest in young talent, 18 years old, from South America, and let them physically grow and fill out by playing Premier League 2 football or reserve games initially. I strongly disagree with this, to be honest. The South American market, and I've got decent experience with footballers in South America, it is such a gamble. It's unreal. And I know that Real Madrid have impressed everyone with Vinny Jr. and stuff like that, but it took a very long time for him to sort of settle in. And there's been thousands of them. Kerlon, Robinho, like Ganzo, all these players that never really made it. You have to be very careful with South America, and it's a nightmare to do business in as well. Black Belt was saying Shaw's very underrated. He's been around so long, we don't appreciate him. Kahinde, is Shaw underrated?
I don't know if he's underrated. I like Shaw a lot. I think you just got to say the way that you think about it is that left backs in the Premiership, for Shaw in the top 3. Yeah, you would say he is. I don't know if he's the best, but he's among the best. So maybe he is underrated because I don't hear about a lot of people praising him enough. But a couple of seasons ago, he had a really good season, but I just think he needs to be a little bit more consistent.
It's pretty much a sort of it's a theme, that, isn't it? You're looking for consistency from these players, and a lot of them haven't been able to put it together. And King Stash is saying Delo's only had 2 good games at right back, and that was Brentford and Crystal Palace. I want a right back that wins the 1v1. Imagine Delo versus Doku in the derby. We need Aaron Wan-Bissaka. We have to stop the cutbacks, and Man City are king.
Yeah, sorry, but I just want to touch on that. I know you're not a fan of Aaron Wan-Bissaka.
I'm not.
I feel that we need Delo and Wan-Bissaka in the squad because they bring different attributes. I mean, Delo is very good at going forward and things like that, but there's games like the guys just mentioned, Man City, that you would need someone like Wan-Bissaka's qualities. So it's I love having both of them. I think it's because you need to have the contrast in styles. There's not one that's complete.
Yeah, I understand why everyone loves Aaron Wan-Bissaka. It's very flashy what he does. He's shut down a lot of wingers over the past, but it would be a horror show if it was Wan-Bissaka, Martinez, and Lindelof at the moment. The ability to get late runners in there would absolutely kill us. I don't think Wan-Bissaka is very good at defending the channel. And
You know what? Sorry,
Yeah.
Bath time. I'm scared to even have this discussion anymore because I feel like someone's gonna get a screenshot. Not a screenshot of a video of me from like 6 months ago when I was saying Wan-Bissaka's the business. He's the main man. And then 6 months before that, I was saying Dalot's the main man. He's the one for the future. That's how the fan base has been going with this debate. One gets a run, and the other one's like, oh, yeah, Wan-Bissaka's got to go now because Dalot's playing really well. Then Wan-Bissaka comes back like he did last season, plays really well, and everyone's saying, oh, Wan-Bissaka's got to play. And now we are in October talking about Dalot's the main man and Wan-Bissaka can't get back in the team. We have to be really careful what we say.
That's why we have to keep both of them, because I think they both they both got good attributes and they're both good for different times.
They call it flip-flopping.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry.
They do. And King Stash has followed this up with how many times have we seen those cutbacks and tap-ins from Tottenham to Brighton? Almost every game Dalot has played, there's been a cutback from his side. We've conceded, I think it means 2 or more without Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I mean, for me, personally, as a sort of midfielder, it's not Dalot's job to stop the cutback. That your pivots are meant to be the ones in that position to stop the cutback. Like, the number 6, his main job is to just, like, sit on the penalty spot and not allow it. And I think that this has been a constant thing through United, where like the midfield just isn't good enough at covering spaces, particularly Casemiro and Eriksen. Like all of the cutbacks you're talking about are Eriksen, nothing to do with Dalot.
Yeah, you're right. You are right. But also, when we played against Bayern Munich, that Musiala kid got the ball, drove at Dalot, got to the touch line, and cut it back. He managed to go all that way, and Dalot ran with him. Fair enough, but he couldn't stop the cutback. And I do remember Eriksen was missing in that position. Then also in the game against Galatasaray, he's in a one-on-one situation with Wilfried Zaha, and he gets manhandled like a boy, you know. And I'm thinking, those both situations. One, Wan-Bissaka wouldn't even let Musiala kid go to the byline. He'd drive him up to the for a throw-in or something. Just go away. Don't even come here, you know. And then with the Wilfried Zaha one, they used to be training partners. And there's stories. Wilfried Zaha still says, quotes, he says, "When I'm glad Wan-Bissaka don't come play at Crystal Palace anymore because I can never ever beat him in training."
Good stuff. And this is just an interesting one. Is that Jared Braithwaite is a left-footed English? I think he's right-footed, but can use his left. Yeah. I saw him play a match and he impressed me. I'd quite like us to take a look at him. I haven't seen any of the others play. And we've got a question here. How many of you think Heath should change tactics to fix the players he has, or like get players in to fit the system?
Kinde, do you want to drop this?
The question again?
Should Heath change his tactics to fit the players? Yeah. Or should we wait to bring players in to fit the system?
Change his tactics to fit the players.
Okay.
OMONDI? No?
Nah, man. The man's come in and said, right, I've got a plan here. I think just stick with the plan that he's got it will run its course. He's getting the players to fit his system. So Mason Mount was a prime player. Okay, he's someone who can do the work. You know what he's required in the final third. And we might look at it and say, Mason Mount, he ain't got skills. He doesn't do step overs or whatever people require these days to be a good player. But I think Mason Mount's very good off the ball. I think give him time, the players will start to click and we will sort of start to learn. And I know people say, "Oh, well, go look at Spurs. He's just come in straight away they're playing a better round of football." But that's not necessarily a long-term thing. I think the brand of football they're playing is they're working off the ball. They got rid of Kane. They've got something to prove. It's a momentum thing so far. I think they're creating spaces in the final third. They're running off the ball. They're playing very simple, basic movement off the ball. Everything else. Once people realise Spurs are a serious threat, they would lock that down again, and then they're going to have to find the real elite kind of level to really break it down. At the moment, I think they're running on gas and getting gassed by, we're playing really well. And it's basic stuff they're doing. Look at the game against us. So I don't buy that argument that what's his name, Ange has come in and imposed his style on Tottenham straight away. I think there's other factors like Kane leaving, players like getting an opportunity now to sort of show themselves. He's obviously a good management, motivator. They're very motivated at the moment. He's brought in players like Maddison to come in who can probably think, I can get England games now. And he's got a free role. He can do his business. I don't think it's a case of his tactics. It takes time. Look at Pep when he came to Man City. It took time to get his philosophy over. And I think we're one season in and we're still not really seeing it, but I think we're close to it. So I said, be patient, don't change the system, and just keep getting the players with the right attitude and start developing players to come through the club who can play in that system.
I already feel that Ten Hag has already bought players for the system that he wants to play. Like he bought a centre back Martinez, he bought the full back Malacia. He's got Amrabat and Mount as the two central midfielders, and he's got a winger in Anthony and a striker in Walden. So he's already doing that. And I just said, like you just touched upon it. I think when we get everyone back fit, I really believe that we'll push on and do something. But I just think this time in the season we've just been unfortunate with injuries and things like that. But it will click, it will come together.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that, but I mean, Ange did tactically do us when we played against Spurs. Like he moved the full back inside and one outside, and it stretched like our midfield one of Casemiro. So I think he's deserved some credit. But now it's the midfield, and the one I want to start off with, Kehinde, is Casemiro. Is he the future? Is he the present? Like,
is he the future? The guy's 31. He's past his prime, isn't he? This is the thing. My thing was like last season. Casemiro was not a guy that I was considering United going to get, but I think it was late in the transfer window, and we just needed a player, an impact player now, a specialist in that position. I won't say specialist, but he's played in that position for Real Madrid. He's won things. We just needed someone who just come in and do a disciplined job. And he did. He had a decent first half of the season anyway. He was really good. And we came third. We come third, yeah, and we won a cup. So he was a player, impact player for then. And now he's brought another player in, Amrabat, who's a bit younger, got fresher legs. So it's good competition. Casemiro is an experienced player. Amrabat, hopefully he's going to kick on now. But I don't think that Casemiro should be. I'm not saying starting games, but I think his role will lessen over the season now that Amrabat's in, because he can't. Him and Eriksen can't really play a full season now. I was saying that last season to bring players in, and we did that. We've got Mount and we've got Amrabat now, so we've got good backup for those two experienced players.
Do you agree, Omondi? And what do you see Casemiro's role in the team being?
I think he's a very good player. He's had his best days, but coming to the Premiership, he's in his second season now, and already we're seeing things that are like oops, and you create a great nickname for him to put in. I mean, it's infectious. I see Jeff is using that name now. I use that name. Mr. B uses it as well because it fits. If the name fits, then wear it. Yeah, Mr. B loves that. And I'm going to be calling players on Sunday football puddings as well if they're not putting their work rate in. So no, you are not you yet, not you. But I do think Casemiro is a class player, and what we've seen with his weaknesses about getting around the pitch, being a bit lackluster, maybe sliding tackles and getting red cards, and think that's evident. But what we are forgetting is I think he's the top goal scorer at the moment, or he's got a few goals, isn't he?
I think he is top goal scorer.
He gets up, he scores headers. He's someone he likes to get forward, and not many players in our team from midfield can do that, apart from Scott McTominay the other day. But Casemiro, I like him. I think you need to keep him around. I would stick with Casemiro for now with what we got and just rotate him a bit more. Like the manager dropped him, brought him off during the game the other day. That's what you have to start doing. Regardless of reputation, whether you think you're a first team player or whatever, I think there's times now where we've got a bigger squad You need to start bringing players off, give him 50, 60 minutes, and then bring in some fresh legs, because you're getting to the stage now where you can't really rely on him for 90 minutes. And if we continue like that, we're going to have problems. So keep him, stick with him, but start bringing him off, subbing him off by 60 minutes or something like that, and bringing someone else on to give him good experience as well. Like someone like Hannibal, someone like McTominay, as we saw the other day, the impact that these guys can have. That's how you use your squad correctly.
But so you playing him in the same position as like a lone six?
Not necessarily lone six. I think what we need to start doing, as you were saying, is that bringing people in, have more possession. Then that lone six becomes be occupied with Ericsson or someone around him, or Amrabat to bring the ball out, or maybe a great fullback to come in and play that midfield role as well. I just think once we get more possession, it becomes easier for you. If you played in games where you're playing really well as a team, and you've been playing for that team for a long time, Bath time and Kehinde and myself, and if things get easier, you make less mistakes because the team are playing better and you're more familiar with one another. I think once we start doing that with Casemiro, this lone role issue won't be so evident. Like you said about Spurs, they made an adjustment and attacked that sort of situation. We were away from home and we suffered for it. But I think if we start to sort of be a bit more mindful of that, as you said, with players like taking people off, and keeping the energy up, because you said the main thing was intensity.
Your mic's gone, Omondi.
I'll be back in a minute.
As Omondi nips off Kehinde, one of the issues that I have with playing Casemiro as a lone six is is jumping, where not like the physical sense of jumping, but when you have like a player next to you who's much more mobile and stuff, they're able to get out and be like the first line of pressure on defensive transitions and things like that. I think one big issue that we're seeing with like Ten Hag's system and Casemiro is that Casemiro, the sliding about, the doing stupid tackles and things, is putting huge pressure on the defence. Like, as a centre-back, how happy would you be to have a slide-tackling midfielder in front of you when you look up and there's 10 men running towards you?
Well, yeah, this is the concern, isn't it? Because obviously, as you age, your timing is all over the place, and that's the thing. If you're slide tackling and doing things like that, it's because you're off the pace, or you're not positioning early enough. Your favourite CDM half-time, Busquets, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I think the key with Busquets, as he ages, he positions early, doesn't he? I think say that was the key to him. He wasn't the most mobile, but his positioning was always like on point. And would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. He also later in his career learned how to unbalance people without fouling them, which is one of the greatest skills any footballer can have.
Yeah. Whereas Casemiro does tactical fouls, Busquets was able to unbalance. Show people the wrong side. Things. Yeah, like it's more intelligent. But I think now it's like with Casemiro, it's like I feel. Not to say he's going to play more as an 8, but I think he needs a bit of a freer role because he can't do it as a lone 6 anymore. And I think that's why Amrabat's coming for the legs and just has that extra bit of protection. Because I still feel Casemiro's got a lot of good attributes where sometimes you can see a good pass.
Yeah,
and he's good at goal scoring, coming in late and winning headers and things like that. He's not bad at attacking either, but obviously he can't do the lone 6 role because he's just off the pace, that tad bit off the pace, isn't he?
Yeah, it's a difficult one because Casemiro's got so many good attributes in his locker. Like, as you say, like he's our best switch passer from the centre. He's one of our best like sort of box crashers. I mean, he's scored goals in. He's won us a cup with a header. Like, he's got so much going for him, but that's not really what you want from a central like defensive midfielder. Is a goal scorer who like expands the play. It's difficult to know what to do with him. But
this is the thing that when you look at the squad, that's why I have issues with McTominay, because like I was saying on the show yesterday, he's not a specialist in any position. He's not a specialist as playing the number 6, not a specialist as playing the number 8. So it's just like, he's got some good attributes, but it's like he's not like a specialist where you say, yeah, he'll get into any team.
Yeah, he's a John O'Shea, Phil Neville. He's a
Yeah,
utility player that can cover
I was going to say
areas.
Darren Fletcher, but I think Darren Fletcher is a better player, on the ball. So it's like it's hard to really say where he's playing, like him as a player, but you can't start someone like that.
All right, we'll get on to McTominay after the comments.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, so Jeff is saying, who doesn't love pudding? Pudding? This is Rajat. This is what we call Casemiro because he's delicious, but he wobbles about too much. And Big G is saying, if Heath wants the Ajax system and tactics, he needs youth and legs. Yeah, intensity essentially. And Jeff is saying it would be nice if we could work in Amrabat, Mainu, and Hannibal, and save Casemiro for big matches like Sir Alex Ferguson did with Scholes. I think that's a good point. We certainly need to give like 2 of those boys much more experience. And Rajiji is saying, good evening. How is everybody on eFootball 24, ETH Tactics, a long ball counter-attack? No one plays eFootball 24, Rajiji. Come back with us with FIFA Tactics. And Black Bolt is saying, I think the team miss Fred and another player whose initials are David De Gea. And to be fair, Fred is intensity, but from what I see, I see Mason Mount as Fred with quality. I don't know how you feel about that, Amonde, but...
Yeah, if we talk about Mount, he stays. I'm going to stick with him. Yeah, he is a busybody, gets around the pitch. Something you're all supposed to do, but he does that really well. That's one of his main attributes. We don't know him. You're comparing him to Fred, but a better version of Mark II of Fred. But Fred was a bit weak, and he was supposed to be combative as a player, and he found the Premiership a bit too tough for him, I imagine. As Troy Deeney said, he put out a quote saying, we had tactics before the game. As soon as Fred gets the ball, rush him, because you're likely to rattle him and get the ball off him. And that's gone around the league, and it seems to be the case. He's playing good football now in Turkey. I did call it a farmers' league, but clearly not, because Galatasaray came and whooped our ass. Yeah. Mount. I think Mount's just arrived. Got to give him more time. Stick with him right now. Same with Casemiro. I'm saying stick with Casemiro right now. And as Jeff was saying there, you've got to rotate and bring these players in to really make use of your squad. It's not about the first 11. You've got 5 opportunities, 5 subs. You've got to bring these players on. And if it's an issue of intensity and you see the levels going down, that's when you bring your players on. And you say, I know Zico Kainde was saying about McTominay is a jack of all trades and not very good at everything, but he can come on after 60 minutes, one of his good attributes, and put some energy and some toughness and good running power into the team in a stage of the game where players are thinking, oh my God, do I have to run this guy? I think that's important. So I think he is an attribute. I'm sticking with McTominay as well. I'm going through these midfield players really fast. And as for the youngsters, I'm sticking with Mainu, Hannibal as well. I'm sticking with him. I'm not sure about Gore. I don't think Gore's even ready yet to be in this sort of conversation. But yeah, those are the midfielders I'm going with. And Eriksen as well, I'm going to twist on. Even though I love him as a player, I do think, talking about intensity, he's got the quality, no doubt about it. But unless we use him well, as in squad rotation, I just got to the stage now where I don't think, like last season, he was a first team starter for me. I don't think he's there anymore. I think we need to sort of use him in a different way, give him 20 minutes a game coming on to sort of tidy things up.
I agree.
Management, yeah.
I think that's how he is being used now. Like, I think that like sometimes we talk about like substitutes, but I've always liked the expression finishers, like people who come on and finish a match. Yeah. And Eriksen, I think, is our best midfielder at most things, like keeping the ball, circulating it. He doesn't have mobility, but he's actually quite good at spotting danger. I know he's been at fault a lot of times, but a lot of that, like if you think about the cup final goal, the first one that went in, he was the only guy that reacted when like Casemiro crossed across, which was just a big no-no for a central midfielder to do. But I think Eriksen is a guy that we want to come on and finish out games. So if we're 2-1 up away from home in Galatasaray. I want Ericsson on
Yeah.
to I want Hannibal off, Ericsson on to calm the game down.
That's
And
true.
I agree with you. I think that Hannibal is a player that I wish just had one more year of a loan. I feel that there's a big Rick in his game coming, and I really like him, and I don't want to see everyone pile in on him. Minu, I've seen play for 5 minutes, I think, like in a friendly, and he looked great, but he's not the answer. McTominay for me is, of course, an absolute like a stick, but I think is training, running. And the weird thing is that McTominay's turned into one of the best goal scorers like at the football club. I know we haven't seen too much of it. Well, we saw it at the weekend, but internationally, he's scoring goals that I don't think any of our midfield could do. Like maybe Bruno, and the one thing we struggle for is goals. So I would definitely be looking at Ericsson to control the game and McTominay to sort of like come and maybe win it for us. But in terms of the midfield, we need more mobile players who can play 1-2 touch and on the half turn better. Like I think we've just got Mount who can do that. To be honest, Kahinde.
All the midfielders, I think we need to keep. I agree with what you're saying about Hannibal. I feel I would have liked him to have one loan in the Premiership.
Yeah, it would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have been ideal. And just where he was just getting games. I think he's nearly there, but it's like, he's kind of still on the fringes. And I think he's working hard to kind of stay in the team. I don't really feel he's playing his natural game yet. He hasn't got the confidence. He's just working. But I like all our central midfielders now because I think they've all got really good attributes. And I wouldn't get rid of anyone. I think the most vulnerable one is Ericsson because, obviously, he started off really well, but obviously he hasn't got the legs, and sometimes he's at fault for a lot of goals where there's a midfielder not picked up outside the box, and Ericsson's the closest one to him, but should be there ahead of the guy, and he never is. And then I always think, well, where else can I put where you can put him where he's not vulnerable? And then sometimes he's played in the 10, and he still kind of doesn't do his work. So it's a tough one, but I will still keep him because he's the best ball playing midfielder we've got in the team.
Hannibal.
Ericsson.
Ericsson. What would be your midfield three? Like if everyone's fit, who would you like to see be the midfield three?
It would have to be at the moment Amrabat, Mount, and Bruno.
You're dropping Casemiro.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay, Omondi, who would your ideal midfield three be?
Yeah, I would go with that. Amrabat, Mount, and Bruno. Yeah, I'll go with that.
I can't really disagree with that. I still would like to see a bit more from Amrabat instead of just fairly sort of flaccid ball circulation. But he's good on the ball. We'll see how he gets on. And Big G is saying that Bruno should be gone with lots of eye emojis. We've done this. Now, the big one. Forwards, wingers, strikers, Martial, Rashford, Palestri, all of the lads. Kahinde, tell me who you're getting rid of.
But listen, my thing, I like all of them. I wouldn't get rid of any of them.
Brilliant.
Shall I tell you? Oh, you don't want me to tell you?
No, I do. I'm joking. Come on, dolls.
Because I feel we'll start off with the striker rather than the wide players. But Hoyland, and we've got Hoyland and Martial who play there for competition. And Martial's good and everything when he's fit. It's just like the thing with Varane. But obviously Martial needed someone to put pressure on him. So we've got that mix of the youth and the experience. So I think it's perfect. And Hoyland's a guy that I feel that in a season or two he's going to come on really strong. I think he's ready kind of now, but it's good that we've got those two that the youth and the experience, and I'm happy with those two players in that position.
You'd stick with Martial, even though he's got a poor injury record.
No, because I think if something happens to Hoyland, Martial's a good guy to come in because I like him as a player. Like as a forward, he does really well. And if he's happy playing that bit part role, he has to be because he's got poor injury record. I'll just keep him on because he's more than a decent enough player.
Okay, Omondi, do you agree with Kahinde on this?
Okay, let me just go through the forwards. I've done my notes. I do my homework when it comes to these shows. All right, let me talk about the forwards. You're talking forwards. You've got Pellistri, Anthony, Sancho, Rashford, Martial, Diallo, Garnacho, and Shawshire as forwards. There's not many. So as you talk about Martial and the Erasmus as strikers, I'll stick with both of them for now. You have to, because unless you're going to bring someone else in, there's no one else to cover that position. There's only two guys there. Martial is a good player, but we talk about intensity. I don't know. He's just got that face, that poker face, placid thing. Like, am I bothered? That's what he gives off. Those are the vibes he gives off. But not. I don't think it's necessarily the case. Just he's got that look about him. Anthony, I think is critical really because I'm looking around. Like I said to you at the start of the show, I'm looking around at the rest of the league. Players in that position. You got Salah for Liverpool. You got Phil Foden. You got Goku. Who?
Saka.
For example. You got who's the Man City?
Son. Doku.
Yeah, Doku. Song, for example. You got Brighton. You got Matoma. I know he plays sort of different position, but he's a wide attacking threat. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Jared Bowen.
These guys.
Yeah.
Jared Bowen.
Yeah, Jared Bowen, even at West Ham. Do you see what I'm saying? These guys, I'm looking at them, I'm saying, boy, your output and you're giving more. You're more of a threat than what we're seeing with Anthony. I think you can only wait so long for this thing to come through. You said at the start of the show about Sancho feeling that Anthony's getting favoured over him. I actually can feel that. I think there's some evidence for that because Anthony gets game after game after game after game after game. And you said, yeah, he works hard. And I say, yeah, fair enough, he does. But when I'm forget that, let's look at the players that we just mentioned from other clubs in that position. And I watched Bayern Munich the other day because since Kane's playing for them, I do like to keep tabs on that. Sane's is on fire at the moment with his left foot. You see what he did? He nuts the guy in the box and just bam! It's like a lovely goal. And then you got Coman as well from Bayern Munich, the white guy. Gnabry. These guys are just getting numbers. And this is what you're saying. When you're playing this, when Liverpool won the league, then Mane, Salah, and Firmino. And all these guys were getting like 15, 20 goals. We had that when we had Greenwood, Martial, and Rashford. When all three of them started scoring. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But it's not happening in our front three. So I think Anthony needs to contribute more. So I'm going to say twist with Anthony. I know it's a huge loss, but I just think he needs to deliver a lot more because I'm comparing him to our rivals and why we're not doing so well because we're not scoring enough goals, and Anthony's a part of that. And I don't think he's showing the qualities that I think he could have, but he's not showing that right now.
Can I just quickly say, because I didn't get to go onto the wingers, yeah? And
we're talking forwards.
No, you're allowed to talk about the forward. We're not censoring you.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is that because of Hoyland, I feel that when I would my preference would be Sancho and Anthony on the wide areas with Hoyland. So that would be my front three. Because I've said it before, Sancho would hit good form. Sancho's best form was when he was playing with Haaland, and Haaland was making those runs. And now we've got Hoyland, and I'm not saying he's in Haaland's league, but he's got those attributes where he could drive forward, he's got that pace, he makes good runs. Now we've got someone like that. Sancho and Anthony will do a lot better because these guys will make the runs, give them the decoy, everything. I think they will thrive for playing with a better forward. And I think that's why they suffered last season because there wasn't a competent, consistent forward that was doing the work for them to create space and get them having their best game. Sancho will play much better. If he was in the team now, playing with Hoyland, you'll see a much better form.
Okay, so you're sticking with Sancho then?
Yeah, I love Sancho. I love Sancho. That'd be my agree. Sancho, Anthony, and
Right, I hear you. So Anthony, I'm twisting. Sancho, I'm sticking. The reason I'm saying, I know he's got a bad attitude right now, but I do think he's talented. I think we need to stick with him because he's younger, and I think he's got more a higher ceiling than Anthony from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Rashford, I'm twisting. I know he scored goals last season. This is the big one for me. All right, Martial, I'm sticking obviously because we need him at the moment. Shawshire, twisting, go. Garnacho, I'm sticking with. And Diallo, I'm sticking with as well because I just think he needs more time to develop. But Rashford is the one for me. We talk about twist and shout. People will twist and shout when they hear this, but I think Rashford has to go because he's at the age now where he's on big wage. He produced last year. I just don't like his game anymore, and I'm fed up of his game. It frustrates me the hell out of me. He's not a team player. He's scoring his goals, yeah, but is he going to link up with man? Is he selfish? Why does he always try to shoot, try to jockey and shoot? Always same thing. People can read him like a book. I reckon me at my age, nearly 50 years old, go out there and put a blocks on him because I know exactly what he's going to do. I've read the book. I've seen exactly what he does, and he's got the pace to rip me to shreds. But I still reckon he'd be coming inside and I'll be able to pinch him. You know what I'm saying? So, or even weights him, because he's not that strong. I'm really getting upset with him, and I'm saying he needs to go because he's got to the stage now where he's not Rooney, he's not like Giggs, he's not Beckham or any of these guys. He's not producing those sort of levels. He's not even Tevez in that sort of quality. He hasn't got those sort of qualities. He's shooting from stupid places where you're thinking, what, 1 out of 100 might go in there, bruv. What is people to pass to here? When he's on the left-hand side and jockeying, no one knows what the hell he's going to do. How many times have you seen simple cutbacks? It make the game easy. Kahinde, look at the goals we scored on Sunday. When we video them and show them to the boys in the team, we say, look how easy it is when you just play simple passes. And it got to the point on Sunday last week, halftime, we were winning by 5-6 goals, and they were still running and dribbling with the ball. And I'm saying to them, this is your opportunity. Don't dribble, just pass. That's what I'm saying to them. Not because we had, even if you could get on goal or whatever, forget that. I don't care. We're winning the game. Don't dribble, just pass the ball. Because then you get into habits of bop, rather than use my pace here and I can beat this man, let me pass it off and create something else. That's how you learn how to play football as a team. And that's what I think with Rashford now. He should just say, there should be an instruction for him to say, do not dribble, just pass and move.
So it's quickly touch.
Sorry, twist. Rashford, you got to go, bro.
Why I'm saying twist as well, because he's 25 now. And I would have liked to have seen him progress from, like Omri, from a winger into a striker. Because I feel that he's got the pace, he's got a good touch, he's got skill. I just feel there's no reason why he can't have transitioned to a good striker. And that's what I wanted to happen for him. And let these other wingers like Garnacho, Pellistri and Sancho play on the left. But he's still, because he doesn't want to use his brain and just think, I just want to stay left wing and all that. He still wants to just hang on that left wing, and he's wasteful, And half-time put up that stat the other day, how wasteful he was. He's wasteful in that position, and I just think he should have made that transition to a centre striker, because when there was times that he got at Arsenal last season, he can be dangerous there if he's just playing off the shoulder and no one's going to catch him, and that's what he should have done in his game. But you can't be playing him as a winger like 26, 27 on the left wing and keep being wasteful like that. So he hasn't evolved enough for me.
I agree, Kahinde. I've said for quite some time that Bale and Ronaldo are who, like Rashford, should be looking at, like wide men that moved inside and sort of like, they didn't add to their game, but they refined what they were brilliant at, which was driving at players, long shots, etc. But I also found it interesting, Monday, what you said about passing and dribbling, because one thing that quite famously Pep implemented at Bayern Munich, where he was working with Ten Hag, was the 18 pass rule, which is that Pep and some boffins came up with a theory that it takes 18 passes to get your team into the right place in order to control a game. And it stuns me that Ten Hag is aware of this and he lets Rashford do what he does, lets Bruno do what he does, lets Casemiro do what they do, instead of getting all our defensive units like for counter pressing and rest defences and stretching the block up the pitch. I'm absolutely stunned. Do you know what I mean?
Tell them.
Well,
Yeah,
I've said some sense now. I'll tell you something absolutely mental, which is my dad. I spoke to my dad today, and do you know who he wants to see for the front three at Manchester United? He wants Garnacho on the left, Højlund on the right, and McTominay through the middle. That's what he thinks would be the best. I'll tell you what. I'll give him Højlund on the left, because against Galatasaray, Højlund absolutely demolished everyone that was down that channel. And I wonder if Rashford, Martial, Højlund might actually be a very functional front three. Yeah. But I'm not sure. Yeah. But I agree
Big
with
up to
you.
your dad, by the way.
Yeah.
Dad knows football.
Well, yeah. We'll have to see what people think of McTominay at 9. And I was a fan of McTominay before him. That's it. It's not a genetic thing. But for me personally, I would actually swap Martial. He's been my favourite player for years at Man United. I absolutely love him, but you can't rely on him. And I think he's actually been covering a lot of Bruno's flaws for quite a long time, where Martial drops into space, Højlund runs into space behind. And I think with Bruno, we're seeing problems where he's not quite disciplined enough to understand that he can't get past the central striker, that he's got to hold his position and create more. And I think that's where a lot of issues with Bruno are coming from. And I feel having Martial coming on as a sort of a sub or like rotating the games is kind of let Bruno cheat a little bit. Rashford, I've been very unhappy with Rashford ever since that final, as I think most people know, against Villarreal, where it was just the worst thing I've ever seen from a United player on the pitch. Garnacho, love him. All he needs to do is just get a little bit more strength, bulk up, bit of experience, understand his defensive duties with more subtlety, and I think we got someone there. Palestri hasn't convinced me in the time that he's been on. I used to really like him, but do you know what it was, Kahinde? It was the Bayern game where I think he could have got 2 or 3 goals, but he didn't have the instinct. There's not enough of a killer in him for a position that requires goals. Like Amonde's talking about Son and people like that. I don't. Do you see it, Kahinde?
I said this at his club because obviously, you know, like when you buy players, you always look at the highlights. And I looked at his stats at his club. He didn't really score that many goals. He had like 1 goal or something, you know. And so he hasn't really mastered that art of like, you know, being a winger that is a goal scorer. And also, like, he doesn't really, like, I'm not saying everyone has to, but he doesn't really know how to play as an inverted winger. He just be as a right winger going straight down. And
have we seen him on the left though?
I have, but he doesn't have that thing where he could cross with his left foot. He doesn't really he's not convincing. I can tell he's not comfortable there. Even when he was on loan in Spain, he was like going down the right. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just like if you go down just one channel and then you're getting marked out, you could only go one way. That's why the inverted winger thing is like you've got 2 ways that you could go. And he just doesn't feel comfortable. So I've always said Ten Hag prefers Garnacho rather than him. So I've never thought that Ten Hag favours him. I always felt that Ten Hag wants to sell him and get 25 mil or whatever it is for him.
I agree. I think this is actually a really interesting comment that Big G has said, and it's not something I've ever considered. But the reason that Rashford doesn't want to play number 9 or more inside is because he wouldn't be able to get Harry Kane out of the England team.
No, that's nonsense. Because everyone knows Harry Kane's got that role. So it's like, even when Rashford was playing as a striker, like everyone, when he's called up to England, he was always playing on the left anyway.
And also, Kane's not really a 9 for England, is he?
He's like a 9.5. He's like a false 9 now.
Yeah. Like I'd loved Harry Kane to come to our club. It would be like a mix of Martial and Bruno Like, he'd have been
5 years
amazing.
ago, maybe, yeah, I would have liked it, but not.
All right. So, do we have any closing comments, boys?
Yeah, I've just got a few things to go through. So, on the switch, the keep or stick sort of thing. Keep or stick's the same thing, isn't it? Sorry, stick or twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Rashford for me is the outstanding one. I was a bit surprised I actually said that, but yeah, I think Rashford has to go unless he magically improves. Stop dribbling and pass the ball. Simple as that. The defense has got a few issues as well, and we need to get a few better defenders in very soon. You're comparing him to other top clubs as well. So, yeah, defense for me is the key position that we need to sort out. I think we need to get a good centre back in, a good. I see. Let's give Amrabat a chance, but a good centre back in is vital because Varane's got issues. Martinez, as you said brilliantly, Bath time doesn't know how to cover out wide and shepherd people out wide in those sort of areas. And we need someone who can do that job. And I mentioned the Man City boys. All of those defenders are great, and Saliba as well. Fantastic players, and that's the kind of level that we need to really step up if we're going to do that.
A left-footed one, yeah.
Well, not necessarily left foot. I would go for a right-footed one because of Martinez is there.
Yeah.
I think Martinez has still got to give him some time. He's got a lot of strong attributes about him. I just think getting someone in of the level of the players I've mentioned about a right-footed defender, all right-footed defenders, I think that would be crucial for us. That's where we really.
That Chelsea centre back, but he's not doing well.
He's left-footed.
But Badashile?
No, Disasi or whatever his name is.
No, he's not very good.
Yeah, I know.
Impressed me.
We didn't get him because he doesn't look good.
Who impressed you?
Upper Meccano.
Yeah, very good.
Like, I know. Like, yeah, Kahinde, he's had some shockers, and I thought he was rubbish. And then when we played against Bayern, and he ate Rashford alive for the entire match, he was so strong, fast, and powerful in wide areas. I was like, this is what we need at United. We need like specialists in the outside areas that can batter these players and then defend crosses.
I understand, but Rashford did it really bad before when he was playing for his old club before Bayern. Rashford nutmegged him and scored.
Was that Leipzig where he got the hat trick or whatever? Yeah. No, it's the first time I've seen Upper Meccano play well. But what I saw was like the future of what we needed at United, which is like a sort of a cross between sort of like Kyle Walker and Varane. Someone with outrageous pace on the outside who understands how you defend one-on-one in a wide area, but then can play central and defend his box, like exactly like Akanji does for Man City or Ake. Like even Ben White to a degree. I thought he had a good game at the weekend. So you're going for a defender is the key position.
Centre back, yeah, right.
Kahinde.
Yeah.
The key position, the one position that we need to strengthen. Where is it?
I've said it already, centre back. Yeah. But the thing is, it's really tough now. Whereas like before, you say, yeah, that's the guy. You know, I've just mentioned the guy who Chelsea bought, who we were after, and he doesn't look good. So it's really tough to say. I can't think of anyone on the top of my head to think, yeah, we should buy this guy. I don't know about you guys.
I like Braithwaite at Everton. I like Gay at Crystal Palace.
Yeah, so you're talking about Premiership proven guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also used to like Tyrone Mings.
I still like Tyrone Mings, but unfortunately he's got no knees. Tyrone Mings would have been it'd be better than Lindelof.
Yeah,
like he would have been a good signing to have as a squad player. But for me, the key position is left back. I want, as you all know, I want a left back that can invert into the midfield. Yeah. Like I think we need like to look at Zinchenko, look at Stones, players like that, so that we can defend in a 4-1-4-1 block. We can defend low block, but also we can get someone next to our central midfielder and allow us to get more men up the pitch.
I think Shaw and Malacia are more than confident. Malacia, I don't think he's done that well. His first season's a bit shaky, but I think that Ten Hag's bought him for a reason. I think he potentially could do the job.
Yeah, because he played in Holland. But the thing is that I think when you look at the two best teams in the country, it's Arsenal and Manchester City. We're trying to play a style of football like them, sort of possession-based, bring everyone up the team, exploit spaces and stuff like that. They both have a fullback inverting into midfield. And I think that is something that the squad is desperate for. Just to give Casemiro a bit of help. So I'm going, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting to say that. I'm trying to wrap my brains about players in world football who can do that. Not many, I don't think. The guy from Bayern Munich, he's fantastic. He's really
Kimmich.
fast. No, the left back,
Alphonso Davies.
Alphonso Davies, yeah. I've never seen him play inverted in midfield. I've just seen him raiding forward with using his pace. But he's one of the best left backs apparently out there. Real Madrid have got Mendy, and they bought a new guy who's also can't play. Yeah, little short guy who also can't play that midfield role. So it's a really specialist position that you're talking about, Bath time.
Yeah.
Not many players out there, unless you know any that can do that.
Camavinga, we've seen
do
it.
Yeah. Well, there's one. Sorry, I'll take that back. There's one. He's been put in that role. But he's a midfielder. Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I want. Is that we should be looking at those kind of players. And just before we go, I think it's probably time to just quickly go through the comments as Jeff is crying about
I've seen it, Jeff.
Yeah. Hello, DN Vlogs. Hello, Hydro. We can't. I think we talked about this earlier, didn't we? About the halfway point of the show. And then here's a good one. Hydro, just watch the Beck stock. If you haven't seen it, get on that and binge watch it. It's amazing.
Hinde's watched it.
How many episodes? I'm on the second one. How many episodes?
3, I think.
There's been 3 so far. Okay.
And I really like the bit with the beekeeping suit. Jeff wants classic wingers, Kahinde. He doesn't want inverted ones. He wants his man chalk on the...
4, no more, man. Football's evolved. Like Giggs, if he played on the right wing, he would have got far more goals than down the left.
I was just checking. He played right wing against Bayern Munich in the Champions League final, or right midfield.
Yeah.
And I think that's it. So, yes, Monday.
I've got a couple of things just to quickly ask. So we're talking about left backs. Just a quick question to you guys. No googling, people in the comments. Alvaro Fernandez. Which club did he join on the season's loan?
Is it Osasuna?
Close, same league.
Well, I know he played Barcelona at the weekend, so it's whoever played them.
Okay. It's Granada.
Okay.
What 2 players did Ron Atkinson bring over from West Bromwich Albion when he came to Manchester United? What 2 players did Ron Atkinson bring over from West Bromwich Albion
Was
when
it
he
Brian
came to Manchester
Robson?
United? Huh?
Was it Brian Robson?
That's one, yeah.
The other one was
I don't know.
Okay, so it was Remy Moses.
Oh, okay.
In the semi-final against Brighton last year, we got to penalties, didn't we? But who scored the winning penalty for us? Was it Dalot, Fred, Lindelof?
Was it Weghorst because he kissed the ball before he gave it to the guy that missed?
It wasn't Weghorst. Was it Dalot, Fred, Lindelof, Shaw, or Casemiro?
Fred.
No. It's only last season, guys.
I'm sure it was Weghorst.
It was Lindelof.
Okay.
I just remember the celebrations. I don't really. Because we didn't win.
Which in the FA Cup 4th round last season in January, we played Reading. Remember when Andy Carroll knocked out Ericsson? But Reading was managed by which former Manchester United player?
Stam? No. Yeah, is it Stam?
No.
I don't know. I don't have a very good memory.
It's gone there. I wasn't so tired though.
Is it Paul Ince?
Yes, it's Paul Ince. Thank you,
Thanks,
Rajat.
comments.
Yeah. All right, a couple more here. Ronaldo scored his last Premiership goal for Man United in the league in October 2022 before all this bullshit stuff started happening. Was it against Everton, Fulham, Southampton, or Spurs?
Everton, I remember.
It was Everton at 700th goal.
Yeah, well done. And just a couple more here. All right, let's do this. Can you name the 2008 starting 11 in the Champions League final, guys? Between the two of you?
That's easy.
Go on.
Van der Sar, Brown right back, Vidic, Rio, centre backs, left back Evra. In the midfield, we had Hargreaves, Scholes, and Carrick. And the front three was Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo.
Well done. Sorry, Bath Time, you got that one. Can you name the 1968? Name me 6 players from 1968 European Cup final against Benfica for Man United. 6 players.
Best, Law, Charlton.
Sorry, Law didn't play.
Stephanie.
Yep.
Styles.
Yep, she said Charlton as well.
Yeah.
That's 4. 2 more.
I'm really drawing a blank here.
So you said Best, Charlton, Styles, Stepney. 2 more.
I can't think. I feel so embarrassed, but I'm drawing a complete blank. I always get their names confused.
I always remember the defender, but my name.
Clearland? Paddy Clearland?
Yep, well done.
Yeah, Paddy, the Scottish guy.
And one more who scored a goal.
What was that striker? He was like sort of Mark Hughes style. I forget.
Ended up being on the coaching staff and ended up at Man City as well.
Oh, Brian Kidd.
Brian Kidd, yeah, there you go. Should we do this one? But Bath Time, can you do this one for me? 1999 starting 11, please.
So easy.
In the Champions League final, Bath Time. That's for you. Can you close the show with that?
Bloody hell. Schmeichel.
Yep.
Right, it was crazy, the back line, wasn't it?
The midfield was a bit crazy.
Like Blomqvist and Beckham were central midfield. Like
no. Well, yeah. Well, those two started the game, yeah. So
what do you want? Do you want the starting 11?
Yes, please.
So they did start the game, Blomqvist and Beckham.
Yeah.
Giggs played. Oh, who I know. We had a defender in midfield playing at centre back. I can't remember. I honestly have a terrible memory for anything. But Cole and York would have been up front. Was Wes Brown in the team then? I think it was the next season that Brownie came in.
He played some games, but he wasn't starting 11.
Yeah.
Nicky Butt, who played midfield with Beckham, and the wingers were Blomqvist and Giggs. The back four was Irwin, Stan, Johnson, and Gary Neville.
That's it, Ronnie Johnson.
There you go. Yeah, that's a wrap. All right, that's it from me. What's on tomorrow, Bath Time? What we got going for tomorrow?
I don't know, Monday. I think I'm going to try and make a quiz, but I really hate international breaks because there's no real football to talk about. It's all the stuff I don't like. So any suggestions, like, any suggestions, tell us on Twitter or something.
What topic shall we talk about? Because since it is International Football Week, let's do a quiz on the internationals, like World Cups, the past World Cups. That's good at past World Cups. If it's 1986, that would do really good.
Who's that?
Why?
On Monday, sorry.
I wasn't born in 1986. Like this is
no, but I think.
Unfair.
What's your earliest memory of World Cup bath time? Because mine was, I remember a bit of 1990, but 94 was the one that I really remember.
Yeah, I think Baggio missing. No, Lechkov's diving header is one of the first things that I can remember.
But if I was to do a quiz on 1994, and you make a quiz for a Monday on a 1986 World Cup, and then someone make a quiz for me
1982.
You don't remember 82? Oh, or you? Yeah. Okay, you were what, 6? I don't know, but like you see that World Cup.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, look, it's International Week. Anything goes.
All right. I'll do a quiz for Zach on 82. After I do the little quiz.
No, I'm doing a quiz for all of you. I'm doing an iceberg quiz.
Forget about years. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. Look, you're getting quizzes this week. All right,
Okay.
that's what you're getting.
World Cup quizzes.
Why does it have to be World Cup quizzes?
Because the international.
We're qualifying for the Euros.
But it has.
By the way, congratulations to, is it 2028 that England are hosting the Euros again?
Yeah, and Ireland, isn't it?
Oh, England and Ireland. Okay.
England
will be hosting the final.
Yes, and 2 games in Manchester, but not at Old Trafford.
All right. I think it's time, because I remember France 98. I said, oh my God, how often does this happen? I need to get a ticket for this to go and watch some football. And I never did. And then we had Euro 96. I just missed that a couple of years before that. And then recently we had Euros here in the UK. So this one, 2028, guarantee you'll be seeing me at the games.
Brilliant. And with that, I think it's time to end the show. So we'll see you for some sort of quiz tomorrow at 9 o'clock, unless there's breaking news or something. So thank you for spending your time with us, and we'll chat to you later.
Good night.